Hey, welcome in. Well, you know how Trudeau is the most divisive, cynical, sleaziest prime minister in Canadian history? Yeah, well, he's not getting any better. And if you're wondering when they were going to get rid of those unconstitutional, insane, unscientific travel restrictions in Canada, I'm talking about the domestic travel restrictions. I'm not talking about international travel. I'm talking about within Canada, flying from one Canadian city to another. Yeah, if you thought he was going to get rid of those anytime soon, well, I'm afraid it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Here's the headline: Trudeau's Rona restrictions upheld in Parliament. The Conservative-led party motion to revert to pre-pandemic rules and service levels for travel was defeated on Monday. But anyway, the opposition motion put forward by Thornhill MP Melissa Lantsman called on the House to revert measures that restrict unvaccinated Canadians from traveling by train or plane in their own country. That's right. If you're in Canada and you're not fully vaccinated, and the definition of fully at this point seems to be completely arbitrary, considering that apparently now you're supposed to get 3 shots a year for basically ever, or until your arm falls off. But if you're not what they're calling fully vaccinated, you can't get on a plane or a train in Canada. Oh, and Canada's the only country that's doing this. That's why anybody listening to this from outside of Canada will be surprised by that and say, oh, that seems stupid. That doesn't make any sense when the vaccines don't even prevent transmission anyway. Seems to be utterly pointless. And you'd be right. And you know what? No matter how bad your leadership is and whatever your country is right now, it can't be as bad as Canada. So if nothing else, you got that going for you. Well, let's take a look at this Conservative motion here. 1. Canadians are currently experiencing unacceptable wait times at Canadian airports, even though airports are still operating at reduced capacity. Current restrictions have been cited by experts as ineffective and contributing to additional delays, costs, and confusion, as well as acute labor shortages. Canada's international allies have moved to lift C-19 restrictions at airports and other points of entry. Canada is losing business and economic opportunities. The House call on the government to immediately revert to pre-pandemic rules and service levels for travel. The fact that Canada seems to be the only Western country that's doing this seems to suggest that perhaps this isn't actually about public safety. Maybe it's about something else. Maybe it's punitive. Maybe it's about punishing those who didn't obey Justin Trudeau. And as we know, Justin Trudeau doesn't much care for democracy, as he admits in this clip.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China, because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say we.
The motion's sponsor, Lantsman, said on Friday that the world has moved on without Canada in terms of restrictions for travel. Quote, the world has embraced restriction-free travel. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce, the Airports Council, and now health experts are telling this government that their outdated Rona restrictions have to go. Who's actually telling the government to keep those restrictions? Who? But I think it's got a lot to do with this. I don't think Trudeau's forgiven those fringy truckers. They're so fringe, I can't even. I actually think it's a mix of his ego and authoritarian tendencies with just purely cynical politics. I think he likes to feel as if he looks tough, and he thinks he looks tough. And unfortunately, he looks like he's safe for another 3 years. Ugh. But, I mean, what can you do? You can only hope that this pathetic virtue charade that he's been putting on now for years in Canada is starting to wear thin, and I think it is. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you'd just like to listen, there's the audio-only version. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.